Welcome back to my channel. In this new video, I want to share with you 4 things that I personally wish that I knew sooner. So those are things that I learned in my self-improvement journey that I started back in 2015 when I reached a very low point in my life where I was working a job that I didn't like, that I didn't feel fulfilled in at all, and I was being disrespected at work once again. And that was the point when I thought, okay, something needs to change. And from that point onwards, I kept learning and investing in myself, growing and evolving, and there were a lot of things that I learned. And here I made a selection of 4 things that are really important and that may be very crucial for you to know right now. My name is Laetitia. I am a confidence coach certified in rapid transformational therapy, EFT tapping, and Usui Reiki. So let's dive in. The first thing that I wish I knew sooner is that my identity is not set in stone. So that's something that you may need to hear right now, because we tend to feel as if we're stuck in our current circumstances, not only our outer circumstances, but in our self-identity, our self-image, our self-concept. And when we don't know about the way the mind works, we may think that the way we currently feel, the way we currently think about ourselves, the things that we currently believe about ourselves are true and are not going to move. But that is actually completely untrue. And I wish I knew that when I was a young teenager and I was being bullied at school. I had such low confidence, such low self-esteem. I had crippling social anxiety. I really felt rubbish about myself every single day, every single minute of the day. And I really wish that someone had told me, don't worry, it's not set in stone. You can actually change who you are and you can change your self-image, your self-concept, your identity. So how can you change that? How can you change your self-concept? This is thanks to neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the way that the brain works, the way that it can strengthen some of your neuroconnections, it can weaken some other neuroconnections, it can rewire itself. And when new neuroconnections wire together, it creates a different state of being, a different way of feeling, of behaving, of reacting, etc. I want you to remember, your identity is not set in stone. You get to change it, and to change it consciously and intentionally. The second thing that I wish I knew sooner was that my victim mindset was perpetuating a negative cycle and holding me back. So again, when you're not aware of the power of your thoughts and how they get to create your sense of identity and to direct the way that you feel and the way that you direct yourself through life, you may actually find it quite comfortable to be stuck in victim mindset. The truth is that it is not actually comfortable. It is very painful and hurtful, but a part of you probably finds it familiar and comforting because it is what is known. It gives you some certainty. However, those certainties that you create when you are stuck in victim mindset are not actually the truth about yourself or about what is possible for you. They're just the truth that you chose at that moment. So here is an example of a victim mindset that was personally holding me back. I kept telling myself that nothing worked for me, that good things could not happen to me. I kept telling myself that success was not available to me, or that happy, healthy love was not available. I kept telling myself that I wasn't good enough, that people were going to reject me, that they were not going to like me. I would be telling myself that if I looked different, then it would be easier, that people would love me more, etc. And I was repeating those things in my mind, and that was just making me recreate the same reality again and again and again and experience life in the same ways. When you are stuck in victim mode, you only attract more of the same. So more of those things that are going to make you feel like a victim, which is clearly not what you want. Our thoughts and our beliefs that originate from the depths of our subconscious mind are responsible for at least 95% of our reality. So you need to be very mindful of the thoughts and beliefs that you actually let in, of the thoughts and beliefs that you unconsciously choose. And then you have to shift the limiting ones, all those limiting thoughts, all those limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck in victim mindset and that are holding you back. You need to shift them. And that brings me to my next point. Just reading a book was not going to transform my self-concept. And when I started learning about self-improvement and diving into personal development and investing into programs and investing with practitioners, I started to understand that a very deep work had to be done, which we commonly call the deep inner work, which means actually addressing what is holding you back in your subconscious mind and starting to change those beliefs for more empowering and positive ones, because they are directing your life. And the first thing I did, I think, when I decided to change, to transform myself, was to buy a book about self-confidence. And then I spent maybe a couple of years staying in that mindset of, I can learn everything just from one book and I can transform myself this way. But this was not actually true. So I could have really made my own transformation faster if I'd known that you had to dive deep into the subconscious mind and rewire the beliefs from there. So the sooner you actually start this process of rewiring your subconscious mind, the better it actually is. And of course, with this video, I'm not coming from a place of regret at all, of, oh, I wish I'd done that, if only I'd done that. No, it's just that I learned so many things and that I want to share with you now, because maybe you're at a point of your life where it would be absolutely perfect to start putting those in practice and to be aware of those things right now so that you can change your self-concept fast. Okay, so that's really the goal here. I have an example here of a client of mine who's been working with me since she was 22. She stopped then for a couple of years, I think, and then she came back to me because she wanted to work on more things, because the more you work on yourself, the more layers are going to come up to be resolved, to be overcome, so that you can keep transforming to the next level all the time. So she's now 26. We've been working together on and off for the past 4 years. And the amazing thing is that she started so young that now by 26, she actually already has this self-concept that she had been dreaming of having and didn't know was possible for her. She has it now. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. And I really am impressed by her journey and by starting so early. Now, the fourth thing that I wish I knew sooner was about the process of manifestation and how you can actually take something that was once in your mind, once in your imagination, and bring it into life. Learning about manifestation was actually one of the first things that I got really passionate about and that I really focused on when I started to work on self-improvement at a deeper level. And a very big part of the manifestation process is to embody the version of yourself that you want to be. The version of yourself who is already living your desired reality, as if it was already happening, as if you were already experiencing it. And this process of embodiment is one that I absolutely love, and I wish I knew about that sooner. But the funny thing is that I remember when I was a child, when I was about 6, 7, 8, I was actually practicing the embodiment process without knowing it. I remember I would tell myself, okay, right now I'm going to be my best self. And that's what I would do, according to what I thought was my best self when I was 7 or 8. So this is very different. But that was a process that I was actually using until I just stopped using it. And it's many years later, or many decades later, that I actually realized that this is a very important part of manifestation. That's something that I'd love for you to do, is to start embodying the person that you want to be now. When you're embodying the version of yourself who is already living your desired reality, then this reality is going to come true, step by step, okay? It doesn't have to happen overnight, it happens step by step. It could happen overnight, of course, who knows? So a great way to practice this embodiment process is to ask yourself, okay, how would I show up? If I was already living my desired reality, if I tap and connect to my best authentic self, how would I show up to this event or to work or to this task that I have at hand or to this gathering, etc.? What would I choose to focus on? What would be my priorities? How would I behave? Which energy would I connect to? Would I connect to an energy of expansion and openness, trust, abundance? Which actions would I take? What would I think? What would I feel? And that's how you start the embodiment process. There's a manifestation coach that I absolutely love called Catherine Zankina. And I did her course in manifestation back in 2020. And there she taught us a process to actually write down and get very clear about what your best, higher future self would actually do. And I love this process. So you would essentially write down using the third person singular or using your first name. And you would finish the sentence stating what she is doing, what he is doing, what they're doing. So, for example, for me, it could be Laetitia wakes up at 8 a.m. and she meditates for 10 minutes. She writes some content for social media or some fictional writing first thing in the day. Or it could be she exercises at least 5 times a week. Or even she wears this type of clothes or she wears this kind of perfume. So you can go into more superficial elements, or you can really go in depth into, okay, this is how she's thinking. She's thinking that everything works out for her. She's thinking that success comes easy to her. She's thinking and believing that the universe has her back, etc., etc. So this is something that I really invite you to do. So those were the 4 things that I wish I knew sooner. The first one, your identity is not set in stone. The second one, your victim mindset is actually holding you back and perpetuating a negative cycle. The third one, you're not going to suddenly become self-confident just by reading a book. You need to do the deep inner work. You really need to do it and to commit to it. It's not easy work, but it's so worth it. And obviously you can get support through it. And the fourth thing, manifestation and practicing the embodiment process in order to start being the person that you want to be and attract and create your desired life. So now that you know these things, you may be wondering, okay, but now how do I move forward? How do I do that? How do I change my self-concept? How do I embody this higher version of myself? Well, first of all, awareness is key. So I would recommend you really pay attention to your main thoughts, your predominant beliefs that are popping up throughout the day. Make a habit of writing them down, whether they're positive or negative. And then you can sort of compare them to the way that you actually want to feel, to the life that you desire, and see if they are clashing with your vision. If they're negative, they're going to be clashing with your higher vision. So that's the second step, is to get very clear about what you want, how you want to feel, the kind of life that you want to be experiencing and creating. And then you can pinpoint the limiting beliefs that are standing in the way. Those are the core beliefs that you're going to have to address with the deep inner work. So how to do the deep inner work? Well, you need to get answers from your subconscious mind. So if you choose to do that by yourself right now without the help of a coach or a practitioner, I would really recommend you start going back to the roots of some of those limiting beliefs that you have. Where did they get created, or how did they get reinforced? Why am I believing this to be true? Then you can check and see how much they actually resonate with you. Do you have a very strong emotional attachment to those beliefs? That do they really trigger something within you? If they do, again, those are going to be the main ones to address. And then what you can do is to try to find evidence against those beliefs. Why are they not actually 100% true? I promise you that you can find at least one piece of evidence that that limiting belief that you've been believing since you are maybe 5 years old is not actually true. Look into your life, look into your past. You're going to find some evidences. And when you do that, you start deconstructing the belief. So find as much evidence as you can. You can also ask yourself, what would my higher self tell me? Or what would the universe or God or whatever you resonate with, what would they tell me about this? Would they tell me that I am stupid, that I'm not good enough, that I don't deserve love or success? Probably not. That's another way of deconstructing those beliefs. So that's something to practice. And then we need to replace what's going. So when you start letting go of a limiting beliefs, we need to replace it with something new, with something better, because some space has been made. So there, think about some affirmations that are really going to resonate with you and that are going to make you feel really trusting, hopeful, excited, motivated, happy, grateful. And then you start telling those things to yourself and reaffirm them to yourself. If they are difficult to believe, because they are conflicting with what you've been believing until now, you can use some words that are going to create a bridge for the information to be accepted better by your subconscious. This can be, for example, saying, I choose that success comes easy to me, or I decide that success comes easy to me, instead of saying, success comes easy to me, if it's something that you've not been believing at all, and if it's something that's not been part of your experience. And in this whole process, you've probably heard it again and again and again, but it's so important. Focus on gratitude. Make some space in your day to actually focus on things that you're grateful for. You can do it by journaling, or you can do it by meditating, or sitting down with your hands on your heart and saying those words out loud or in your mind, whatever works best for you really. But really creating those grateful, happy frequencies in your mind, body, and energy. That is such an important part of the process, and that's really going to help you. If you have any questions around anything that I've shared with you today, please comment below and let me know. And I would be so appreciated if this video was helpful for you to click on the like button, to share it with people who might benefit, and to subscribe to the channel because I will be sharing lots more. Sending you a lot of love, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!